In this week's video, I do a karate chop, I hide behind some leaves, and I have a go at swinging. Hello there, and welcome back to the channel and to another overcast day. We've come to some woods. Location is a secret, but so it's going to be very flat light today, but I bet it's better than having the specular highlights that we had last week in parts. So we managed to get out after doing the jobs in the garden, all the chopping, and taking the parents down to catch their coach for their Saga holiday. Hope you've had a good time. I think they've gone to Eastbourne, somewhere like that. Somewhere on the south coast, so it should be warmer than it is up in the north of England. So we're going to have a wander around. Been to these woods before, but we've not really explored all of them. So hoping for some new photos today. So let's get into it and see what we can find. Let's go. Well, I think that's pretty new, that fallen part of the tree there, because I think that's been struck by lightning, because we had a really heavy storm a couple of weeks ago, and that wasn't down the last time. Excuse me, it wasn't down the last time we came, so I'm thinking that must have been struck by lightning. It started to rain and I've left my waterproof in the car. Hey ho, once we get back into the forest a bit more, I think we'll get some shelter. Anyway, the first shot is of this fallen tree, which has been fallen for a very long time. And then it's obviously got these two sort of gnarly bits where I'm guessing branches were at one point or another. And it looks kind of cool. It's got the some moss on there. And then I'm polarizing it just so the greens pop, but also taking the shine off the timber as well, because it's been raining. Is it timber when it's been fallen, or is it timber when it's been sawn? Leave a comment. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So obviously I've got the fallen tree, the knots, things, and then a lovely greens in the background of a tree. I don't know what it is. Beech tree. So I am at 0.5 past light speed, f9, ISO 100, and I'm at 35mm. And if the shot's any good, then here's the shot. We've got a lovely arch here that somebody's made us out of beech. Looks pretty cool. Might do when it's grown a little bit more. So I found a shot here, and it's of another beech tree. Funnily enough, there's a lot in here. But it's the exposed roots that I really like. So I'm just going to frame this up now. I might actually do this landscape. I've had a look before I came, but I think we'll do this landscape. I've noticed I'm doing a lot of my photos portrait orientation, which I don't really understand why, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Anyway, so these exposed roots look pretty cool. Polarize it just so the remaining of the orange in the fallen beech trees from obviously last autumn still has got a little bit of an orangey ready tint to it. So I think it pops really well. Bring that up a little bit. I'm at f8, 0.6 of a second. I'm at 50 mil and ISO 100. And if the shot's any good, there's the shot. So we've come down to the bottom of the wood, so hopefully get a shot, hopefully get a shot of the beck, but to say we've had nothing but rain for a week, it's looking a bit poor. It's got a lot of deadfall and obviously there's not enough water in there to make a decent picture out of it, but like I say, it's done nothing but been rainy or windy for the past week, so I expected a bit more water, and now I don't know what the catchment area is for this beck, so maybe it's not massively and it just runs off the fields. So there we go, and the sun's coming out. Bonza. Of course, I get to somewhere on the river that looks pretty nice and the sun comes out. I don't think it'll be long before it goes back in though. So anyway, what I'm looking at here is obviously some sandstone blocks there. Now they look pretty quarried to me. I don't know if they are or not, but you know, nature's not that square, is it? They quite possibly could be. And then obviously it runs down to, I wouldn't say they were massive falls, but let's get a picture of them anyway. And the blackbird just flew across the shot there. So I'm going to have a wander around, see where the best spot will be. There's a piece of deadfall there as well. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, we're down in the underground here. Can you see me? That was the worst David Bellamy impression ever. I turned Australian for a little bit. Oh, I can't get out! Oh gosh! So, we ventured across the river in my Converse, which was brilliant because I didn't bring my boots either, and I found a shot. Excuse me. So, I think those the limestone there is natural. I think. So I've got that on the right side of the shot. I've got a tree in the background, the waterfall in leads to that tree, and then I've got some little rocks in the foreground here. I'm going to play around with the shutter speeds and see where I can get. I'm also polarizing it just to take the glare off the water as well. So for the main shot, I might even focus this because I want to focus on the rocks in the foreground and the tree in the background as well. So obviously the sun's just come out again. So I'm 1/4 of a second, f8. I'm at 24 mil again and ISO 100. I think the shot's very, very reasonable. Here's the shot. So the Mandalorian and Grogu was brilliant. Don't let people tell you otherwise. This is the way. So another shot. It's of these two beech trees, lots of beech trees, And then a dry stone wall which runs up the side of what used to be an old road, I think. That's an old sort of pack horse route maybe. I think it looks really nice. We might walk back up this road when we've been up the river a bit more, and come back and then go further into the woods. So yeah, so there's 2 beech trees, the wall in front of it, leading off into the distance. I'm at, I don't want to do that. So just change my, so I'm at f9, 0.3 of a second, ISO 100, and I'm at 55mm. And if the shot's any good, here's the shot. Since I started photographizing a while ago, and it obviously doesn't come at once, but I think it teaches you to slow down in everything you do, really. It teaches you to see rather than look at what you're doing as well. There's plenty of things now that I noticed that I didn't notice before, the turns of the season. You know, the little subtle changes that happens actually before, you know, it goes from green to the autumn colours. And then obviously when the greens start, you know, the buds start to appear on the trees and things like that. So, God, it's like a minefield around here. Sorry about this. And also, you know, the light and form and things like that, even not only in landscape, but in the cities as well, when you're doing street photography, you know, how the light and the shade and the forms of buildings all add to your compositions that you're wanting to take. Well, this is pretty cool. I'll show you this. So still down in the beck area before we go back up to the so it's a bit more peaceful down here and a bit cleaner, shall we say. I've got another shot here. So this is of these 3 quite large specimens of beech tree here, with the trail just running in front of them. I've separated them the best I can because I don't want them touching, so I need that separation in between each one. So what we're going to do is now have a look at it at the back of the camera and see what we've got and what the settings are. So let's have another look. So yeah, I'm at ISO 100, f9, 0.3 of a second, and I'm at 50mm. I'm just the shutter speed is a bit slow just because it's kind of dark in here because of the overcast skies, but I'm not having to worry about the sky at all because none of the shots will have the sky in them. So if the shot's any good, it'll be pretty reasonable, I think, like they all are. Here's my shot. can't remember how many shots this is, but it's a few. I've just taken this shot of a beech tree in the distance. The canopy behind it is very vibrant, very green, looks unbelievable once it's been polarised as well. And then I've got a beech tree just to the left of that, just in the midground, and then one in the foreground here, which is just framing my shot on the right hand side. Just being careful of border patrol, you know, it goes around there, that nothing's encroaching in that you don't want to. I mean, you can always crop things out, but it's best to do it if you can in camera when you're there. 0.3 again, f9, ISO 100, and I'm at about 65mm, something like that. I'll spin you around to let you have a look at the shot in a sec. There's the back of the camera. I'll just brighten that up a little bit for you so you can see what I'm doing. There's the in focus. That's the beech tree in the distance. Obviously one here and then one there. Here's the shot. I don't know how many more we're going to get now because it's starting to rain quite heavily. But just another one of a beech tree. I'm shooting this one at f4.5 just so I can sort of soften the background a little bit. I'm at 1/4 of a second, ISO 100, and I'm at 45mm-ish. Again, it's just a beech tree. There's a little bit of sky in there which I might be able to get rid of in post. But it's just a beautiful shot, I think. I'll flip you around to let you have a look. What I'm looking at here is, again, the trees, because it's beech trees, isn't it? That's all there is really. One or two oaks, but mainly beech. So as I'm looking down here, I've isolated 2 or 3, but then there's some really good light towards the back end of my photograph. And then there's a dead tree in there as well, which looks really, really cool. I might actually, see, this is the thing about just moving here or there, I can now see it better now I've actually focused in better on it. So I've got, there's numerous trees, the dead one in the background, which was an immense tree at one point. I don't know how good that'll come out because it's right at the end of my photograph there. But yeah, and I'm polarised as well. So I'm 1/5 of a second, f8, ISO 100, and I'm at 85mm, so quite far out of this one. So if the shot's any good, here's a shot. It'll be brilliant because this is a brilliant place. So obviously there's the first one there, the second one, and then as you're wandering down there, you can, as it goes into the light, you can see the dead tree there. And I did do a couple of exposures, one for the shadows and one for the bloody dog, and one, it's not mine by the way, and one for the shadows and one for the highlights there, and we'll blend them. I may just use the one that I've used for the exposure for the highlights, because and then have everything really dark in the foreground. Well, I think this will be the final shot of the day. And what I'm doing is I've got a fallen tree, well, it's been felled here, and then leading into a couple of beech trees in the background, and then there's some light on the foliage in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the light there. I might keep the two beech trees in the dark, and then the fallen tree here, the felled tree, will be in focus, and when it gets to the camera will be out of focus to give it a sort of cinematic look. My settings are f8, 1/5 of a second, ISO 100, and I'm at 38 millish. Yeah, for the last shot of the day, I think it's pretty reasonable. That's what we're looking at. This will be out of focus here, and then it will gradually get in focus, and then up to the trees there. There we go. Last shot of the day. Wow, this place is awesome. We came for an hour because we have to be somewhere, and it's been 3.5 hours. But we could easily be here all day with these masses of it we haven't explored yet. But that's good, because it means we can come back and back and back and back. But it's definitely come back here for autumn. It's a beautiful place. So that's done. Next week we're going to Scarborough to watch Skunk Anansie and Garbage at the open air theatre. So I think that'll be here pretty reasonable. Looking forward to that. I don't think I'll be vlogging it next week. I'm going to go without any of my gear for a change. And then the week after that, we'll see. And then the week after, oh, I've got a gig after that, and England are on as well. So yeah, World Cup started, doesn't it? Which is good. 104 matches over 6 weeks, I think. Bonza. Yeah, and then we're on holiday down to Sutton Hoo, which is should be good fun. In fact, the World Cup's still on then when we go down there. So yeah, if you have any ideas, like I said last week, if you have any ideas about Sutton Hoo, just drop us a comment in there. Much appreciated. So thanks for coming along, guys. We'll see you later.